me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope.
Look at this dude. Oh, no, 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 no.
Well, let's try this again.
Help me,
Mando?
you're my only hope.
Look at the top of his head.
Oh boy, Mandalorian Season 3 is coming out in less than 2 weeks, and I'm pretty excited for it. But at the same time, I'm also not that excited for certain parts of it. Let me explain, okay? I feel like Star Wars is basically hanging on by a thread. That thread is made out of Beskar at this point, so it's really the only thing that's carrying this entire franchise. Like, the movies didn't do it, nothing else did it. I don't know if anybody's watching The Bad Batch. Obi-Wan definitely did not do it. You get my point. Like, after Boba Fett, pretty much everything went downhill. And while the trailer looks awesome, I'm really excited for it. The one thing I'm really, really skeptical about, and the one thing I don't want Disney to do, and they've been doing it, so it's like, this is why I'm kind of skeptical. I don't want them to shoehorn a bunch of other garbage into Mandalorian. I want it to let it run on its own show, like, give it its own legs, stop fucking around with it. Like, for instance, why did Mando need to go and be part of the Boba Fett show, the Book of Boba Fett, right? Like, he did not need to be there. That show was so trash, man. I watched the cliff notes of it. I basically skipped through a bunch of episodes. I couldn't do it. It was just too stupid for me. See, I thought season 2 of Mandalorian was awesome, right? Because it felt like a decent end to the whole Grogu series. Season 1 was sort of like where they pieced together all the characters. You were just sort of getting invested in some of the people. You started to understand what the point of it was. Grogu and Mando were still sort of like just learning to get to know each other a little bit. And season 2, I think, was great because they were building that relationship. They were well within the realm of becoming friends and all this stuff. And then right at the end, he had to let him go for the sake of his own development. His own as in for Grogu. And Mando obviously had so many arcs where, he had to remove his helmet. He had to sort of fight some of his own beliefs and systems and stuff like that he's kind of held on for a long time. And that's mainly because in the season 1, in terms of how we're told the story, he doesn't really drift that far away from the planet that he was working on, right? Small things here and there, and that was his home base. But once Grogu came into the picture, once the Galactic Empire came into, or whatever the remnants of it was, what came into the picture, his story kind of expanded without him even wanting it to expand. He kind of just wanted to chill, but then he tried to do the right thing, and that's really what carried him onto season 2. And of course, at the end with Luke and all that, oh.
What? Are you coming back to identify yourself?
And into the mouth. Nice.
Oh, mwah, beautiful, man. I love that shit. I know some people are on the fence about it.
You serious?
How? Vader and Luke were the two characters from the OT that we didn't get to really see kick ass that much. Like, Luke beat Vader in the throne room scene in the original trilogy, right? But he just kind of yeeted the lightsaber away. It wasn't that epic of a lightsaber battle, so why would you not want him to kick ass? So if you are on the boat where you think that that's CGI Luke, you're a perfectionist. Shut up. Let's take what we get. That's awesome. So the thing is, from the trailers, I feel like Mandalorian Season 3 is positioning itself to sort of go into Mando's story more, because he wants to go back to Mandalore to whatever, get retribution or something like that, right? So he wants to go back and see what he's about and what all the things that he's been missing. All the stuff about his creed and culture, which, by the way, I think they should absolutely do. Like, get the other shit out of there. I don't want to see a Boba Fett cameo. I don't want to see, like a Obi-Wan cameo. I don't want to see any of that shit. Just get into the story. Well, we might see like an Ahsoka cameo, I guess, but I think I don't mind that, actually. Ahsoka was kind of cool. But basically the point I'm trying to make is the furthest you get away from this hot pile of garbage that is the movies of the sequels trilogy I'm talking about, Obi-Wan, just the general, everything other than Mandalorian. Now, I haven't watched The Bad Batch, so if that's any good, let me know. But, I can't get myself to watch Andor. I just don't give a shit as much because you already know what's happened to those characters. So it's like, I don't know, you just don't seem invested in it. I just want them to get away from that stuff, just completely build the story with Mando, maybe get into the whole bounty hunter Mandalore situation, because I really think that Mandalorians don't get that much of credit. I mean, Boba Fett, to be honest, from the original trilogy, from watching it, I was never a Boba Fett fan. Like, looking at him, I was like, oh, cool, look at the helmet and the jetpack. Yeah, it was cool. But then he died in like 2 seconds. Like, he died in the stupidest way in like 2 seconds. He's like that guy who shows up at the basketball court fully decked out. You know, he has the knee pads, the headband, the nice shoes and everything, and then can't play basketball for shit, you know? Like one of those guys. He was like that in the original trilogy. So I wasn't on the boat of, oh my god, we need to see more of this stuff from Boba Fett, for example. But now that we have Mando, I really think that they should get into this whole Mandalorian sort of saga and see what happened there. Because, oh my god, like if you go into the lore of it, it's pretty epic, right? Like they basically were supposed to be fighting against, mostly Jedi, but not only Jedi, just a lot of Force users and stuff like that. That was their entire culture for a while. So if they can kind of delve into that and revive some of that from the Old Republic and previous days, I think that would be awesome. That would be something that they could potentially eventually move into a movie saga or something like that. It doesn't have to be about the Anakin Skywalker, Palpatine, Obi-Wan series, right? You can move on to different things, and I'm totally open to it. I don't know, let me know in the comment section below if that's not something that you want to see. If you're one of those folks who just want to see the original trilogy type of characters and moving forward from like now into eternity, let me know. At this point, they've fucked it up enough where they need to actually get some new blood into the system. So that's why I feel like doing the Mando stuff and going to Mandalore and expanding that story is actually very, very crucial. So I hope season 3 really explores Mando's past and does what he wants to do, because really I think he deserves it. I think the folks who wrote The Mandalorian, yes, there's some good and bad episodes, but mostly they're pretty good and pretty entertaining. And keep in mind, I watched the first 2 seasons with people that don't actually know too much about Star Wars and they loved it, but the same people could not sit through even like half of the sequels trilogies. So let's see how it goes, but let me know in the comment section below. Again, if you like this kind of stuff, if you're new to the channel, I do rant a lot. That's kind of this whole thing. That's kind of the point of this, so apologize in advance for that, but that's just how it is sometimes. I just feel like getting something off my chest and it gets into a video format and gets pushed out. Anyway, until next time, I'll catch y'all later. Peace.